Good morning, everyone. I have the new RC4WD stamped wheels here, and their new Rock Creeper tires. I was going to do a quick install, give you some tips. The first thing you're going to need is a 2mm wrench. This lovely piece comes with the stamped wheels, so you can take the wheels on and off real easy. And this is not needed, but makes the world a lot easier. This is a paper clip that just fastened that'll fit through these holes. And the reason is, if we look closely at these, let's see, there we go. There's an area where these line up. The stud or the bolt lines up with the center of that. The rest of them aren't lined up on center. You'll see that it's off, 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 off. So when you try to assemble it back together, it can be a bit tricky. This is a 4-piece system. So what we've got here is, please mind the noise. And there's 6 screws to take this apart. Now what I've seen with these replacement tires, the tires themselves are smaller than the stock tire. Though they're shorter in height, they are slightly wider. I actually weighed the complete tires as well. The stock tire sat in at 10 grams, and the replacement tire and wheel was 20 grams. So this specific setup will double the weight of each wheel, adding a total of 40 grams to the weight of the vehicle. So these are set up, 4 pieces. You got your lug down here, your back piece, your top piece, and your center. We start off by just squeezing this in here. And this little rubber lip here, you want to be sitting on the top of that. So make sure you pull that out. That's where you're getting your bead lock from. So we get that out there. Make sure it's on the outside of that tire. Give it a little bit of a massage. Make sure it's looking nice and round and it's not squishy or just looking really weird. You want it so it's going to lock in there. That's where your bead lock comes in. So this is where this little tool comes in. I can set this up, and I put this in the middle. I pick 2, and then I find the other 2 that have the holes that line up center in there. You can, boom. So you can see right in there, that lines right up. It's pretty easy. Taking my tire, I put it in there. Check this back side. I want to make sure that this is going in the tire. See, we don't want to pinch the tire. This is why we got to pay attention a little bit when we're doing this. So the tire will sit in there, and there's your nice clip. And now that you've got this all set up like this, we got our center piece. We find where that lines up with that. And this will now line up with that one piece. Because if you don't do it that way, the holes aren't going to line up. And neither will this mesh system in the tires as well. And when you go to put it back together, it becomes a mess, and you can damage this very thin aluminum. I'm not going to bore you with putting these screws back in, but when you're putting them back in, I might do a little bit just to start off, is you want to put it in a star pattern where you'll go here and then there, and you won't pull them all the way tight. You'll just get them threaded so it's holding in. Then you'll go from there to there, and then there to there. Once you have the first screw or 2 screws in, you can actually remove the paper clip that holds everything together. So I'm pulling the paper clip up as I'm screwing this down. I should feel once it starts to grip. Now sometimes you're going to feel, because you're adding that rubber of the tire in between the bead lock, that it takes a little bit of pressure to get that to catch in there. I think I've got that in there. I'm going to put in one more to double check. I do this without the driver at all, and I'm pushing up on the back side of that nut in the back. And if I pull this out, now I should have, and it's in there. So we've got that set. So then we start putting in the other screws that we need to, opposite sides. And then after you've got all of them in, you'll tighten one, the other, one, the other, one, the other, just like that. It's pretty easy. You can probably do all 4 tires in less than an hour easily. It shouldn't be an issue. The first time it could be a little tricky, but this little tool, it's simple. It's a paper clip. Take a pair of pliers, my needle nose, and I made it just as wide so it fits perfectly, and it saved me so much time and effort. Give that a try and let me know what you think. And I wanted to add a little something I found that helps us as well. If you take a rubber band that's right around the same size as the tire, a little bit smaller, it'll help make sure that that bead seats real well. Because if you don't, sometimes it can be off just slightly, ever so slightly. And if you're particular like I am, that might drive you nuts. It also slightly can deform the wheel a little bit. So I found this little rubber band, and it makes sure that that seat is good all the way around. And hopefully that should sum it all up. Thanks. I wanted to add a little shout out to Fields Hobby over on Union Road in Cheektowaga, right across from Cheektowaga High School. Those guys out there are pretty awesome. They got a good selection of stuff for the SCX24. It's one of our local hobby shops. They've been very helpful every time I go in there, and have a pretty good selection. If you need something, they'll hook you up. They're all hobbyists and enjoy what they do, so it's a pleasure to go in there and support your local shops. Thanks.